Professor Tomkinson Taylor, good afternoon. I think you're on mute, Professor.
There's a little icon in the corner, Professor. Click on that. Yes, the corner. Anytime now, Professor.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, Professor.
Afternoon.
Dr. Bartlett, thank you for joining us.
Is this going to take long?
No, hopefully not.
So what do you want?
We are special advisors to the government.
Oh, great.
And the Prime Minister wants us to take this opportunity to reach out to you both as leading experts in your fields.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Why?
Because he wants to know what you think.
Well, we've been telling you for months what we think, and he hasn't listened.
No, that's not fair. He has listened.
But he hasn't implemented many of our recommendations.
Any of our recommendations.
Any.
That may be true, but...
It is true.
But we think that the problem isn't with the Prime Minister.
The problem is never with the Prime Minister.
Rather, it is with the recommendations. They've been a bit complicated.
Over-detailed.
But it's a complex situation that we find ourselves in at the moment.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, with a lot of detail.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's sort of the problem. The PM doesn't really do complicated. Or detail, really.
So what we're looking for is a very uncomplicated recommendation.
With a bit of detail, if you must, but not too much.
The Prime Minister does realise the gravity of the national situation, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely he does. He spoke of it just this morning in Cabinet,
Oh,
we think.
Mm-hmm.
oh, what you think? Why? What did he say?
Specifically,
Yes, please.
he said, Nascentes morimur finisque ab origine pendet.
And what does that mean?
We have no idea.
Oh,
But we do have people on it, getting it checked. Because we know from experience, when he starts talking Latin to the Cabinet, it's never a good sign.
So he's definitely worried about something.
I think it means something like, when we are born, we die, and our end is just the pendant of our start.
Christ. It's worse than we thought. It's Latin babble.
he does realise how swiftly we need to do this. He needs to take swift science-based action. Time's not on our side here. We need to do this as soon as possible.
Carpe diem.
Don't you start.
Yes, I'm sure he does understand that, which is why he wants scientists like you to give it to him straight.
The unvarnished truth. The facts, the science, everything. But uncomplicated and not too much detail.
Oh,
I'm not really sure we can do that. There's a lot of mathematical rigour in my work.
And we support mathematical rigour 110%.
oh.
But help us out here. We need a helicopter view of the current national situation.
Oh, what view?
We need to know from you where we are right now.
We're in a helicopter?
Not literally, but figuratively. If we were in an allegorical helicopter hovering metaphorically over the hypothetical national situation, what would we see?
We'd see that we're screwed.
Really?
Oh, yes, we're absolutely buggered.
Okay.
Oh, goodness sake. This is what we have been saying for months. It's a disaster.
We're up Shite Creek and we don't have a paddle.
Or a canoe.
Okay. So that's the bad news. But now let's flip that coin.
What coin?
It's another metaphor.
Oh.
And look at the coin from the other flip side. What's the good news?
But there isn't any. Have you not been listening to us?
There's
No.
got to be some.
Why?
Because people like good news.
Yes, exactly. And it's your job to supply some.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
We're scientists, and that is not the way that science works.
Well, let's work the science a bit harder then, shall we?
Is that another metaphor?
No, it means that the PM is a sunny, positive person who wants to share that sunny positivity with the voters.
Oh, she means the country.
And in order to do that, he needs some sunny, positive news to share.
Well, I am very sorry, but there isn't any. The national situation is bleak, and it's only going to get bleaker as the winter goes on.
Okay. There's no good news. Things are terrible and they're going to get worse.
Yes.
So who can we blame? It's got to be someone's fault.
Well, I suppose it's the government's fault. I mean, they ignored the warnings, didn't listen to the science, mishandled the response.
That's not really the answer I was looking for.
Okay, well, if you want to blame one single person,
Yes?
then I suppose you're going to have to blame the Prime Minister.
Oh, no. The problem is never with the Prime Minister, remember?
We form a square around the Premster.
What are you talking about?
We're saying we need you to say something else.
Like what?
Like something he's going to want to hear.
Oh, look,
Anything will do.
for goodness sake, look, will you, children, listen to us. We have got a report. We've written it. It's another report, and it is very detailed and complicated. And we sincerely, we earnestly wish for the Prime Minister to read it, to listen to the advice, to follow the science, and then give a truthful, honest account of the national situation to the general public. Please.
Time is running out.
Well,
Yes. Yes, of course we will.
Promise.
Trust us.
We've had extraordinary scenes today in the House of Commons as the Prime Minister unveiled the government's latest response to the ongoing national situation. He said that having received the last report from government scientists, he's decided that what the country needs is a stonkingly huge, great Christmas party. A total blowout, he said, as he went on to outline the new guidelines, which include holly, ivy, mince pies, turkey with all the trimmings, loads of prezzies and masses of booze. The leader of the opposition, clearly taken aback, responded by accusing the Prime Minister of underestimating and even trivialising the seriousness of the national situation. The Prime Minister responded to this with, "It takes one to know one, and so what does that make you then?" There were loud cheers from his back benches as he waved aside furious opposition objections that his response made no grammatical sense, and he even then followed it up with accusing the opposition leader with being a boring goody-goody killjoy and a girly swat. The opposition leader then tried to counter this with, "It takes one to know one, and so what does that make you then?" But the moment had been lost, and the PM, who for once seemed to have the upper hand in the backing of the House, started enjoying himself. "We send 350 million to the EU. Let's get sloshed instead," he shouted, then got everyone on his side of the House to wave their order papers about before announcing that he was going to appoint a Minister of Christmas. to, as he said, really get this national party started, boo yakasha. The whole of Westminster is now holding its breath, waiting to see who this person is going to be. As I said, an extraordinary day. Back to the studio.
Good morning, Minister. Minister?
Can you hear us, Minister?
Minister?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
Indeed we are, Minister.
Oh, gosh. Sorry. I'm still not quite used to it. Minister.
It was a bit of a shock.
Shock. I should say it was. To get a call like that from the PM telling me that suddenly I'm a Minister of the Crown. The whole country's counting on me to save their Christmas, but he's sure I'm the right man for the job and everything. Well, yes, shock is putting it mildly, I'd say.
Well, congratulations, Minister.
He's handpicked you for this job and we're sure you'll be wonderful.
It's our job to make sure you are.
Oh, good. And you are?
Oh, Ashifa Mansour.
Maxwell Jones. We're your team.
Gosh. Blimey. Wow, I've got a team.
Indeed you have, Minister.
And we are here to do your bidding.
Hurrah! Well, let's get cracking, shall we?
So how would you like to begin, Minister?
Well,
Maybe we could kick off with a quick brainstorm of our objectives. What are we looking to achieve?
a stonkingly jolly Christmas.
How we're going to achieve our target goals.
By rolling up our sleeves and getting on with the job.
And how are we going to tackle the seasonal negativity?
Negativity? About Christmas?
Oh, yes. There's a small but significant lack of enthusiasm about Christmas. We call it nativity negativity.
You call it that. No one else does. But 54% of the population agreed with the statement, Christmas is overrated.
61% say it's just for kids.
39% think it's an unwelcome financial burden.
18% of the population agreed with the statement, I dread Christmas.
And 12% with the statement, I feel unable to cope at Christmas.
No. This is terrible. Well, we'll have to do something about that. See, they are just the kind of people that we have to invite along to the party, because this year, everyone is welcome.
But not everyone wants to come.
Oh, nonsense. Once they get a couple of mince pies and a few sweet sherries in them, they'll be up there doing charades and singing along to Slade under the mistletoe before they know it.
Mistletoe is a problem area.
What? But it's a well-loved Christmas tradition.
Or it's plant-based sexual harassment. And is that something the government should be promoting?
Also, Minister, 41% of people in the country aren't actually Christian.
So? That doesn't stop them celebrating Christmas, does it?
Yes, it sort of does.
Really?
Well, of course. I mean, Muslims don't celebrate Christmas.
Don't they?
No, nor do Jews, Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists.
That's terrible.
Well, we struggle through. I'm guessing, Minister, that you're not from a very multiculturally diverse constituency.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. We've got a fair few of them.
Of them?
Yeah. Oh, you know, multiculturals. They always turn up to the constituency Christmas bash.
I'm sure they do. That's not quite the same as celebrating Christmas.
No. I suppose it's just freeloading, really, isn't it? Could I ask you something, Miss
Mansoor. But please, call me Ashifa.
Ashifa? Yes. Thank you. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Well, I join in, of course I do. I like a party as much as the next person. But it's not really part of my culture or my religion.
I see. So, what, if you don't mind me asking, do you celebrate if you don't have Christmas?
Well, believe it or not, I celebrate Diwali.
Do you what?
It's the festival of lights. Well, it's great fun. There's dancing and fireworks and feasts.
Presents?
Oh, of course.
Oh, so it's sort of like Christmas.
Yes, only it's in November and it's in celebration of a host of different gods, not just one.
Really?
Oh yes, there's lots. There's Vishnu, Sita, Rama and Krishna.
And you celebrate them all?
Yes. My favourite is Ganesha. He's got the head of an elephant.
Extraordinary. What some people believe, eh?
Quite, Minister. So we'll just stick with the baby born to a virgin in a barn, shall we?
Yes, I think so. Keep it simple. Keep it Christian.
Although, Minister, not all Christians are that keen on Christmas.
No, sorry, I do have to correct you there. So I'm pretty sure you'll find that Christmas is all about the birth of Jesus Christ. And that's what Christians celebrate.
Yes, you're quite right, Minister. That is the meaning of Christmas. But nearly 87% of devout Christians feel that meaning has been lost and Christmas has been commercialised.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a good Christmas commercial. That John Lewis one with the little penguin chappie. Oh, and the one with Elton John. Lovely stuff. It's what Christmas is all about.
Not according to 87% of regular churchgoers. They believe that the spiritual side of Christmas has been undermined by the relentless concentration of conspicuous consumption. Too much eating, drinking, and present buying.
What? Who are these weirdos?
Christians.
Who don't like giving Christmas presents? They don't sound very Christian to me.
Well, they think that the Nativity is sacred, a gift to the world from God to his people.
Yes, exactly. It was a gift, a present. See? Even God gives Christmas presents.
But this was a gift vouchsafed to all mankind.
So it was a gift voucher. Never as good, I always think, but it's the thought that counts.
But, Minister...
I've heard enough. I've heard enough. As far as I'm concerned, Christmas is for everyone. Like it or not. And if they don't like it, tough titties. This year, they have to like it. Or lump it. But still like it. I'm not going to get us bogged down in all of this religious stuff. This year, we are going to concentrate on the traditional British Christmas values: food, drink, presents, and jumpers. What do you think of this?
Very nice, Minister.
I want one of these little beauties delivered to every home in the land.
Really?
Oh, yes. Nothing says Christmas like a festive jumper.
That might be difficult. There are supply chains.
Distribution logistics.
Oh, nonsense. We'll contract it out to the private sector. That's where you get results.
Oh, but there won't be time for a proper competitive tendering process.
A what?
There has to be parliamentary oversight into public spending.
You're a bit behind the curve there, Ashifa. I don't think we bother with that anymore.
But there's a ministerial code.
We definitely don't bother with that. Just ask Priti Patel. Look, the minister can spend what he thinks he needs.
But that's only in exceptional circumstances.
Ah, but surely there's no more exceptional a circumstance than Christmas.
Exactly. Well said, Minister. Did you have anyone in mind?
Well, now that you ask, my brother-in-law's got a company. I'm sure he'd be able to do it.
Your brother-in-law.
Oh, splendid. So that's sorted. Festive jumpers for all.
Hurrah!
Wait. Forgive me, Minister, but your brother-in-law owns this company.
Yes, stroke of luck, eh?
Is it a clothing company? A delivery company?
I don't know. Actually, come to think of it, he owns quite a few. I don't know what they do. Property, maybe? Online gambling or payday loans or something? I tend to glaze over whenever he talks to me. Not that he talks to me very much these days. You know what brother-in-laws are like. Actually, well, come to think of it, I think I'm on the board of a couple of them. It's probably best not to use those. You know what people are like. They do tend to talk, but I'm sure that one of the others will do it.
I'll get right onto it, Minister.
But
Are we really getting this thing moving, aren't we? It's very good work. As the PM said to me when he called last night, ne herba pedum tuorum. Don't ask me what it means, but it sounds great.
Minister, can I just...
Oh, but I can't let the grass grow. I'm due on the 1 o'clock news.
What are you going to say?
I don't know. I'm sure something will come to me. Listen, it's been grating the bones with you two. I really feel we've hit the ground on this one.
Just don't mention your brother-in-law.
Yesterday, he was an unknown, unheard of backbench MP, but 24 hours later, Malcolm Skinner is the newly appointed, or should I say newly created, Minister for Christmas.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us, Minister. So can you tell us exactly what is going to be different about Christmas this year?
This year, Kirsty, thanks to this government, Christmas is going to be unrecognisable.
And is that good?
No, it's not good. It's very good. We, as a government, are committed to having a world-beating Christmas. Safe, stable, manger. A better Christmas than any Christmas under any previous government. This year, we will have our Christmas cake and eat it, because we believe in Christmas. We believe that Christmas means Christmas, and we are committed to delivering fun and merriment and jollity.
But how will you...
I'm sorry, Kirsty, would you just let me finish, please?
I thought you had.
No, you listen, you asked me a question, and now please allow me to give you the answer.
I'm sorry, please do go on.
Thank you. and happiness to one and all. I've finished now.
Well, that all sounds marvellous, but just how are you going to achieve all this?
I'm very glad you asked me that.
Well, Mr. Skinner,
We have a raft of world-beating measures at which we lead the world, all lined up and oven-ready to be rolled out in time for December 25th.
can you give us some specifics?
Yes. Yes, I can. Of course I can.
And what are they?
This government promises that no one will be lonely this Christmas.
How about old people with no families?
Old people will be supplied with a family. Likewise, families who need a beloved aged relative will be given one. Everyone gets a jumper. Christmas means Christmas, and we will be declaring unilateral peace on earth, and goodwill to all men will become law. Bells will jingle, Santa will come, there will be a turkey on every single table, and most importantly, I personally guarantee a white Christmas for everyone all across this wonderful land of ours.
Well, that sounds pretty impressive, Minister.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Because remember, Kirsty, this year, thanks to this government, Christmas will mean Christmas.
Thank you, Minister.
What was that?
Did you like it? I thought they went rather well.
I thought you did a fine job, Minister.
What about all that stuff you promised?
Had to say something, didn't I? She was asking questions. Took me by surprise.
Can I ask what you were expecting a news journalist to do?
And how the hell are we going to deliver all of those things that you promised?
Look, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll work it out. We've still got a couple of months.
We've got less than 2 weeks.
Well, that's near enough. But did you like the slogan?
Christmas means Christmas?
Yes, catchy, I thought.
It sounds a bit familiar.
All the best new ideas always do. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? Oh, and talking of cracking, reminds me, I've had an idea.
Oh, God.
Now, question. What is the most disappointing thing about Christmas?
I don't know.
No, come on, serious question. You said people dread and despair and all the rest of it. Well, what causes that despair?
Well, I think for me it's the crushing sense of anticlimax, which is sort of tied up with my general self-esteem issues. It's the feeling that I have a kind of black hole at the centre of me, a lack of joy. It's why I can't form long-term relationships. And every year Christmas just brings all these feelings to a head.
That wasn't quite what I was after.
Do you want to talk about it, Max?
Yes. But before that, the answer that I was sort of looking for was crackers.
Crackers?
Yes, Christmas crackers. I mean, look at this one. Rubbish. But as luck would have it, I got a call last night from an old school chum.
About crackers.
Yes, turns out he makes novelties.
Novelties?
Yes, toys, games, fancy goods sort of stuff.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, but the point is, he reckons he can sort us out with a top-notch crimble cracker for every single man, woman and child in the country.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Actually, it's sort of a great idea.
Isn't it, though? Imagine everyone getting a big box of crackers.
Quality crackers!
Delivered to their door, courtesy of the government.
You've got it.
Well, I think it's good.
It's bloody brilliant.
Hurrah!
And it certainly delivers the positive festive messaging experience the PM wanted.
Excellent. I'll call Purvey and tell him the good news.
Who?
Purvey. Tim Purvis. It was his nickname at school. He's a bloody top bloke, Purvey. It'd be good to help him out a bit. He'll be chuffed to ribbons, I tell you. This is going splendidly. Oh.
We've had stormy scenes in the House today after the new Minister for Christmas, Malcolm Skinner, unveiled his extraordinary list of promises to the country. The leader of the opposition called it the biggest wish list in history and accused the government of cruelly raising the hopes of the nation in a cynical attempt to deflect attention from their mishandling of the ongoing national situation. Rising to defend Mr. Skinner, the Prime Minister immediately hit back with, "No one likes a smart ass, you and whose army, and so what you're saying is you hate Christmas, do you?" But the mood of the House seems to have shifted away from the PM, and when he then tried taunting his opposite number in Latin, one of his own backbenchers was heard to shout out, "Oh, just talk properly, you floppy-haired pillock." According to a source inside Number 10, who didn't want to be named, there are growing fears that far from being Santa Claus, Malcolm Skinner might end up being Santa Twat. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Sophie. And I'm joined again by Minister for Christmas, Malcolm Skinner. So, Mr. Skinner, Santa Claus or Santa Twat, have you been promising us more things from your sack than you can deliver?
Look, if I could
Basically,
just...
Are you stuck halfway down the chimney?
No, of course I'm not. Because let me tell you, Kirsty, the two things that this government is above all else is safe and stable and responsible
That's three things.
and reliable.
And that's four. You do seem incapable of not overstating things, don't you, Minister?
No, I don't accept that at all in any way, shape or anything, ever.
What about your pledge that every old person will be provided with a family?
I was quoted out of context there.
Really? So what was the context?
The context, Kirsty, is that that Christmas means Christmas, and that's something to celebrate and believe in and never lose sight of.
So how about the promise of a turkey on every table?
Again, Christmas means Christmas.
Okay, well, what did you mean when you personally guaranteed a white Christmas?
I don't think that's what I said.
Well, what you said, and these are your exact words, Minister, I personally guarantee a white Christmas for everyone all across this wonderful land of ours. So are you guaranteeing that it is going to snow everywhere? Or are you guaranteeing that everyone's going to see the Hollywood film?
Well, I
Or
would say...
is it only going to be Christmas for white people?
What? No, heavens! I mean, God! Racist? I'm shocked. I'm appalled to hear the BBC being so racist.
I was merely asking.
No, I'm sorry, but I am not going to sit here and be subjected to this torrent of hatred.
I assure
Everyone knows that the BBC hates Christmas.
We don't.
But I am not standing for your blatant race hatred.
But Minister...
Christmas means Christmas.
Thank you. That was Malcolm Skinner, Minister for Christmas.
Well played, Minister.
Yes, I think that went pretty swimmingly, don't you?
Absolutely. Any day that you can call the national broadcaster a bunch of racists is a good day in my book.
Number 10 is very pleased.
Well, that's the good news.
Is there some bad news then?
Well, I always say it depends on how you look at these things.
And how are you looking at these things, Minister?
Well, there is a little spot of not great news on the old festive jumper front.
What's happened?
Well, I just had the older brother-in-law on the blower from the factory in Guangdong. He's at the suppliers.
And?
Well, by all accounts, it seems there's been a tinsy case of crossed wires with the Chinese manufacturers.
What's wrong with them?
Oh, in themselves, nothing. According to the old in-law, as jumpers go, these are tip-top high-quality schmutter.
So what's the problem?
It's more of a design issue, really. Sort of lost in translation. Chinese getting the wrong end of the stick about the whole Christmas Christian thing.
And?
Well, the good news is they've all got a picture of Santa on them, as per the spec. But... But he's hanging on a cross.
Oh, God!
Yes. Not looking at all jolly, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, we clearly can't use them.
Oh, no, of course not.
That's it, we're going to have to cancel the contract.
Surely, Minister, we must agree that these jumpers are totally inappropriate.
Oh, yes. But...
What?
Well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Asking your own brother-in-law for the money back.
Oh, I can't see there's any choice.
I don't know. I was thinking we could just draw a line under the whole sorry saga and just move on. I mean, in the spirit of Christmas and everything. What do you say?
You're the minister.
Minister?
Yes, that's right. I am, aren't I? So, onwards and upwards.
when the leader of the opposition demanded to know why valuable government contracts were being awarded by the Ministry of Christmas without scrutiny, transparency, or adherence to public procurement regulations. Christmas, he claimed, was in danger of being mired in an unseemly mess of corruption and incompetence by a government that had clearly lost its way. In response, the Prime Minister said, "Ooh, who's rattled your cage then?" Then claimed that the leader of the opposition was just jealous and should put a big hairy sock in it. However, this spirited defence did little to quell the growing sense of unease on his own backbenches, as criticisms of the new Christmas ministry refused to go away. And, in an attempt to illustrate this mood, I have been talking to a disparate group of random people and hearing their ill-informed opinions. Here's what they had to say.
So I just think it's typical. They're all the bloody same, aren't they? I don't trust none of them.
It's the children I feel sorry for.
Well, I wouldn't like to say, really.
I mean, the government are doing the best they can, given the circumstances, but unfortunately for us, the best they can do is pretty shit, isn't it?
Lo siento, no hablo inglés. Soy de España.
Or I think he should just resign. I think they all should. Every bleeding one of them. Just resign in the name of God. Just go.
Yeah, it's the kids I feel sorry for.
So, there you have it. Back to the studio.
Have you seen the polls?
I tried not to, but yes.
You know, it's the job of this ministry to make the government popular again.
Not going too well, is it?
Oh, you've noticed.
Maybe we should write to Santa, telling him what we'd like for Christmas.
Do you think he'd bring us the minister's severed head on a stick?
It's worth asking.
Morning, troops! And how are we all this fine, bright morning?
We've been better, Minister. The government's plummeting in the opinion polls, the PM's personal ratings are through the floor, and thanks to us, everyone now hates Christmas.
Oh, nonsense.
According to the Office of National Statistics, 24% of people now agree with the statement, "I'd rather stick pins in my eyes than have Christmas."
Well, that's a minority. But people do appreciate what we're doing for them.
The other 76% would rather stick pins in your eyes than have Christmas, Minister.
It's a bit harsh. There's just no pleasing some people, is there? But I do have some good news.
Oh, we could certainly do with some.
Then look no further. Ta-da! My old school chum sent the crackers over. You should have yours.
So we do. Let's have a look, shall we?
I must say, these do look good.
Yes, I'm impressed.
What did I tell you, you see? Private enterprise in action, delivering the goods.
Well done, Minister.
I knew old Pervy Purvis would come through for me.
We should start getting these sent out ASAP.
Already on it. The trucks are loaded and on their way. Each box with a personal note from the PM himself.
This could be just what we need to round the corner.
Get people back on message.
And
Hurrah!
get us climbing back up the opinion polls.
So what's in them?
Oh, well, let's have a shufty, shall we?
So, what have you got?
I don't know. Looks quite exciting, though. I think it's a balloon.
Let me see that. That's not a balloon.
Bubblegum?
No, Minister. It's a condom.
What? Ugh! What's that doing in there? Ugh.
Oh, Max, what have you got?
Ugh.
Apparently, it's a butt plug.
Oh, God.
Could it be a festive wine stopper?
It's not a... Just what kind of novelty goods does your old school friend manufacture?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the bloke for years. What did you get in yours, Ashifa?
A cock ring.
This one's got a tube of super lube, and this one's got a magic vibrating finger.
Oh, God!
Actually, now I come to think of it, Tim's surname isn't Purvis after all. That was another boy. Tim was Tim Smith. Yes, that was it. We called him Purvy for a very different reason.
So now we've purchased 40 million boxes of Christmas crackers filled with sex toys.
And they're being delivered to every home in the country.
With a personal note from the Prime Minister.
Oops. Still, quite. This will cheer you up. Joke. There was a young man from Tashkent whose willy was horribly bent. So to get out of trouble, he stuck it in double, and instead of him coming, he went. I'm not sure I get that.
I really think I'm going to kill him.
Well, surely things can't get much worse, can they?
No, I don't think they can.
Okay. Well then, it looks like our work here is done.
It looks like it.
We've had censorious scenes in the House today as the Prime Minister was forced to apologise to every home in the country for sending them a naughty novelty in the post. The Leader of the Opposition accused the PM of personally overseeing a flood of festive filth, which casts a dark stain of shame over an already troubled national situation. And to this, for once, the Prime Minister had no reply. These are perilous times for the government, and many of its growing band of critics are saying that this latest Christmas crisis could be the one that finally tips it over the edge. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Sophie. And I'm joined by the Minister responsible or irresponsible for this latest governmental humiliation, Malcolm Skinner. Mr. Skinner, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, to tell you the truth, Kirsty, I'm feeling a bit pipped off by it all.
Really?
It's the ingratitude, frankly. I have been working my socks off to give the country a Christmas to remember.
I think dildos at the dinner table isn't something people will forget in a hurry.
There have been a few bumps and glitches, but you know, it's very easy for people to criticise.
It's very easy to criticise you, Minister.
Look, I am here to deliver Christmas, which means Christmas. And by jingo, that's what I'm going to do. And if people aren't going to enjoy themselves voluntarily, then, well, I'm sorry, but we are going to have to make them.
I'm sorry? How are you going to do that?
Under measures brought in to contain the ongoing national situation, I am today announcing new emergency Christmas guidelines.
What?
In the week leading up to December 25th, people will not be allowed to congregate inside or outside in groups of less than 6, who preferably will be total strangers. Also, people will not be allowed to shop for anything other than inessential goods or be allowed out of pubs, bars and restaurants until at least 10 p.m. During this time, mingling will be mandatory, random snogging will be encouraged, as will spontaneous drunken public carol singing. The lyrics to Jingle Bells, Batman Smells and Whilst Shepherds Washed Their Socks by Night will be available to download at www.minofxmas.gov. I urge people to make sure they are ready to comply with these rules for the upcoming revels.
And just how are you going to make people comply?
I'm very glad you asked. I am forming a new local volunteer service, the LVS, or elves, I call them. And these elves will be out on the streets enforcing the fun. Looking out for anyone being grumpy, cynical, churlish, or a misery guts. Anyone found not enjoying themselves will face heavy fines and possible imprisonment. So, finally, let me just say to all of the ungrateful buggers out there, have a very Merry Christmas. Or else.
Thank you, Minister. We've been speaking to some random and disparate members of the public to get their half-arsed and ill-informed views. Here's what they had to say.
I think it's outrageous, frankly. I don't think people are going to stand for this sort of thing, and good luck to them. Someone ought to make a stand against this sort of thing.
I'm not going to go out and enjoy myself just because some government minister tells me to. In fact, I'm going to stay home and be bloody miserable. So there.
It's the kids I feel sorry for.
Es tut mir leid. Ich bin Deutscher.
Well, it's all well and good the government telling us to have a good time, isn't it? But are they going to? Or is it one rule for them and one rule for us, is it, eh? 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 Is it? Eh?
It's time that the government listened to ordinary people. Actually listens. No. Listen. Do you hear that? That's what I'm talking about. I think I'm a reasonable sort of fella, but I think we should burn them. All of them. Big bonfire. Whoosh. Done.
Oh, well, it's Sprogs I feel sorry for. Brittany! Brooklyn! Get back here now, you little bastards!
We've had jubilant scenes in the House today as the Prime Minister announced that he was scrapping the controversial and deeply unpopular Ministry of Christmas. Enough is enough, he said. It's time to take back control. Champion a proper Christmas. Give the power of Christmas back to the people, because Britain leads the world at Christmas. The House erupted in rapture, and although the leader of the opposition tried to point out that it was the PM who had started it all and created the ministry in the first place, He was drowned out by the ecstatic cheers from the government backbenches, so no one heard him. Number 10 later confirmed that Malcolm Skinner, the notorious Minister for Christmas, whose appalling mishandling of the festivities caused a series of crises, has been sacked, made a life peer, and sent to the House of Lords in disgrace. Today's announcement has seen the government's popularity soar in the opinion polls, with the PM's personal approval rating reaching new record heights, as an overwhelming majority of the country agreed that the Prime Minister is just like Winston Churchill in that film. This is Sophie Drinkwater on behalf of Northern Comedy Theatre, thanking all of you for watching. And from all of us, we wish all of you a happy, safe People's Christmas.